we already have our select option defined. So let's add some code. We'll go to the end, and all I'm going to do is recreate the select statement. Select star from Z employees. So here we're creating a loop. I'll put the end select in. And now I'll include an if statement. If our Z employee record date of birth field in my DOB we will just write out the full record to the screen. So now we have this code. Just format it correctly. When did I put that full stop? There we go. So what this is going to do is select all the records from the employee file. If our date of birth matches any record from our select option, so don't forget we could have 20 different individual records here with a mix of single values, a range of values to include, a range of values to exclude, and maybe a list of individual values to exclude as well. Well, just by using this in operator, the system will take care of the selection for us. It will do all the work that is required to only return true if the employee's date of birth does meet the criteria set up in the internal table. And we will then write out the record onto the screen. So let's debug this code and we can see it step by step. And you can see how the internal table of the select option for my date of birth gets filled up. Now, first of all, I'm just going to comment out some code. Take this out, and we'll take these out as well, just so we've got our very simple select option. Attack of the typos once again. What have I got here? Select star from, oh, look at that. Dear me, the fingers don't seem to be working quite correct. There we go. I'll stick a breakpoint here as well. And now we'll execute the code. So first of all, we get presented with the select screen. And what I'm going to do is not enter anything into date of birth, just so you can see what's presented. I'll press F8 to execute. Now we come to the breakpoint, and if I double click my DOB, we can see by this icon here, it actually represents an internal table. So I'll double click that, and now you can see the individual fields that make up this table. The hat symbol we will come to later. That represents a header line. And then here we would have the individual entries, one for each record that makes up our select option. But because we didn't enter anything, we've got no records here. So I'm just going to F5. We should loop through the table and output every record. There shouldn't be too many, 5 or 6. There we go. And I'll just make a note of the date of birth here. So we got 1969, 77, 58. So we'd range from 58 up to 2000, just so I know what to use in the selection criteria. Now let's run it again. And this time we'll fill in a value. So let's say greater than, I'll tell you what, F8. Let me pick a specific date. Let's choose this guy here. I'll enter one value. Well, of course, go to, what was the value? 02/12/58. F8. Now we will look at date of birth. And there you can see we have one record. The sign has been included. That's the inclusion. And we're saying equal to. And there's our date of birth field in the low field. So now when we step through our code, the if statement gets evaluated. If we go back to fields and show the employee's DOB, we can make out the individual entries right here. So this is 18th of November 1969, and you can see we're on the 2nd of December 58. So this shouldn't match, and it doesn't, and it skips straight through. Our next record shouldn't match either. This one does match. We got the 2nd of December. And as you can see, using this in operator, the statement has been evaluated as true, so therefore we will write a record to the screen. I'll just zoom through, and I guess we will see one record display on the screen. There we go. Let's run it again, and we'll include some more options. So the first thing we did was that one. Let's click the multiple selection tool. And you know what? I've forgotten the other values. I need to open another session. Let's pop this over here. Z employees. There we go. Let's just change this a little bit. Choose fields. All I want is the date of birth field with the employee. Pop that there, shorten this one. That's all we need. Now, go to the multiple selection tool. I will also choose the 13th of December. And then let's exclude, what dates have we got? 58 to 92. Let's exclude 1st of January 1999 to the 20th of December 2002. Click execute. And just a note, when you do fill additional entries in on the multiple selection screen, the icon does change. We have this little green square to indicate we have got multiple selections. So I will execute, and now we will take a look at the My Date of Birth table. That's the first record. Let's do this. So now we can see the 3 entries. The first one, which we saw before, then the second one in the multiple selection screen, and we can see it's the same, it's the inclusion equals to sign, and then we have a range that we are excluding. So you can see we are excluding the 1st of January 99 to the 20th of December 2002, and BT, that equals between. So between this date and this date. So now when our if statement gets evaluated, just this simple in operator triggers the system to automatically check all the records in this internal table. And if you ask me, I think that's really, really neat, because you just don't have to think about all the different type of logic, the different permutations you would have to code for yourself to be able to check against all these different types of entries. You can just say if our field in, then the select option field. And that's it, all the logic is done. So F8, and then we get 2 records returned.